Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we have a brand new figure. Well, I guess it's not really brand new. He's been out for a couple months now, but it's brand new to me. I just recently purchased him. It is a figure by a company called Vitae, and it is this guy. This is the Vitae Majungasaurus. When I originally had seen the promotional pictures for this guy of the prototype, I was in love. I love Majungasaurus, I really do. I've always loved this dinosaur since I had originally heard of him. For some reason, I'm just a sucker for these guys. I don't know why. I think that they're such neat looking dinosaurs, and I've just been so looking forward to this figure. Let's take a look at this Majungasaurus. Now, when you take at first glance from a distance, I think this figure looks really, really nice. I like the paint scheme on it. I think it's very striking. I really, really do. And the sculpt overall isn't that bad. I think it's pretty good. But unfortunately, one thing that I dislike heavily actually is the face of this dinosaur. I think that it looks odd. It's kind of ugly. I don't know why. Like, you can see looking here that there's not very much detail on the face, and it's just kind of all meshed together. Another thing that's weird about the face, I think, is the fact that it's very glossy, which kind of helps to hide what little bit of detail there is on the face. But the overall face of the figure, I am not a very big fan of. If you take a step or two back, like right about there, you don't really notice it too much. It looks pretty good. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but then when you get closer, you can see that it doesn't look that great to me. It's, again, not the worst thing I've ever seen. I definitely don't dislike it by any means for that reason, but it's not that great. Another bad thing about it is it does have an articulated jaw, so that's not bad news. That's cool. It looks pretty good. But the inside of the mouth is awful. Like, it's hard to really see here. There's no tongue, I don't think, at all. It just does not have a tongue. You can, when you look in the back, you could just see the back of the figure, not the back of a mouth. The paint that is put inside is just a pink, and it's really sloppily done. And there is pretty much no detail. You can see two little bumps back there or something, but other than that, there's like no detail at all inside the mouth. And even on the side of the mouth here, you can see there was just really no attempt at all as far as sculpting the inside of the mouth there. I also don't really like the eyes being pure black. I feel like they would have looked much better had there been given a pupil in there. Even just putting a little white splotch for a pupil would have made this look much better, in my opinion. And there's also inconsistencies as far as the paint of the eyes. As you can see, there's a very nice ring, like a whitish ring around the eye on this side. But over here, it's really sloppily done. You can't really see it as good. Like on the upper part of the eye, that ring kind of just disappears. So the overall head of the Majungasaurus could have been much better, but it's not that great. Now, I know that this figure was made with a resin material, and that is one of the reasons why it is a limited edition. They normally release these figures made with PVC, which is what the Giganotosaurus was. I really feel, honestly, like they should not have done the resin at all. I feel like they should have just made this another PVC figure, because the Giganotosaurus looked way better than this, in my opinion, as far as detail and sculpt work. It looked much better, and this one really suffers, I think, from having this resin material be the primary material for the body. But other than the head, once you come down the neck, you can see that the detail is pretty nice. There's some nice skin folds. The coloration of the dinosaur everywhere besides the head looks really nice. I do like the fact that the head is a reddish color. Like I said, I think the overall color scheme of it is really cool. I love that it turns into like this reddish tail and gets to a really dark color at the end. I think that the paint scheme of it is very nice, vibrant, looks very cool. There are all sorts of different shades done all over the body, so they didn't skip out in any way as far as the paint goes. But the head is just really weird and kind of a letdown for me. It doesn't look terrible, like I said, but I think if it was made from the PVC, it would have been much better. The teeth are painted pretty nicely, though, so that's also a plus side of the head. Coming back here, you can see that the detail is pretty nice the whole way back. There's not too much as far as skin folds. but it looks pretty good. You can see a little sloppiness on the underside as far as the sculpt goes. You can really tell that it is more of a resin, especially like right here, just looks like a big error as far as sculpt work goes. You can really tell that it's a resin material and not the PVC, the beautiful look that the Giganotosaurus was. The feet look pretty nice. I think the toenails might have been painted a little too much onto the toes, but it's not bad at all by any means. It looks pretty good. Some pretty decent muscle tone here in the legs. You can see the hip bones are elaborated a little bit. And the tail is very nice. You got some nice little skin folding down here. That looks beautiful the whole way out. And then again, the opposing side also looks pretty good. I like the little bumps and stuff all over the side of the dinosaur. They're all the way down here on the leg. Again, this leg looks pretty nice too. I do like the stripes that are on the feet here. I think that looks very neat. And then coming up, there's some more nicely done detail. The tail, I think, is like my favorite spot of this figure. I think the tail looks really nice. Overall, it's not the worst figure at all, but I feel like they could have done a better job on it. And the one other thing that I do dislike a little bit about him is the arms. I feel like are in a very odd and unnatural position. The arms would probably be in here closer to the body, but for some reason he kind of looks like he's attempting a little bit of evolution too soon and trying to turn into a bird and fly away. And I don't know why his arms are just sticking straight out to the sides. But yeah, he pretty much looks like he's just trying to soar. Maybe he was playing, running around pretending he's an airplane, I don't know. But that's a little strange to me. Overall though, the Majungasaurus figure doesn't look that bad, but it is by far not my favorite as far as Vitae goes so far. I definitely like the Giganotosaurus much more than this guy. Taking a look at the base, in my opinion, this base is beautiful. It really is. There are just so many different little variations of shading and coloration on this base. It looks incredible. There's even like a little bit of moss over here under this tree. You can see the way the tree is put onto the base is a little bad. It kind of sticks up. And I've tried to push it down numerous times so that you don't see this gap here, but it just does not go down all the way. It stays up there. I think the sculpt work though of the base is really beautiful. It looks very legit and real. And I love the little tree and the bush here. They look a little bit like fake plants. They don't look too real, but I love that they have added a little bit of yellow coloration around on the leaves on both. It helps to make them look really real at the same time that they look a little fake. So it looks very cool though. And if you take a step or two back, you won't really notice the plasticky look of them. And I think they look very nice once you're, like I said, a few steps back. However, I don't know what this thing here is that's just randomly on the base. It's the only thing that really ruins the base for me. I have no idea what that is supposed to be. I don't know if that was originally created as a peg to put the dinosaur figure on and then they decided against it and just tried to cover it up, or if this is just supposed to be like a broken tree or what. I don't know, because there's like some significant cracks and stuff, like some dry mud around it. So I feel like there should be a reason for it, but I have no idea what it is. Looking at this, I've looked at it numerous times just to try to get an idea of what this is supposed to be, if it's supposed to be a tree stump or what, and I can't come up with anything, so I have no idea. But regardless of that, the overall base is fantastic in my opinion, and really looks beautiful. Now, as I was mentioning that looks like it was probably, this thing here might have once been a peg. Unfortunately, that fact there, you can see there is no hole on the feet at all. There's nothing to connect this dinosaur to, and he doesn't balance very well. So you really have a hard time. There, I got him, but his tail's touching the back here. That's probably the only reason he's balancing. I have a very hard time trying to balance him on his base. He does not stay on it at all. And if you have even a remotely shaky house and you walk through, he's probably going to fall. And if he's on like a shelf or something, being made of a resin material, I can imagine he'd probably break very easily. So if you do get this figure, you definitely want to be very, very careful and maybe even consider gluing him onto the base, just because he doesn't stay on there very well at all. As far as the size goes, from head to tail, well, tail to head, he's about 10 inches long. And height is a little under 3.5 inches. As far as the base goes, it's almost 6 inches long. and a width, it's about 2 1/4, a little under. For a size comparison, there is the Papo T-Rex, so you can see that the Majungasaurus is significantly smaller than the Tyrannosaurus Rex by Papo, but it's not terribly sized. It's pretty small, but not super tiny. Now, like I said, this is the smallest figure that I've gotten from Vitae. So far, I only own the Giganotosaurus, 2 different versions of it, which one was the limited of 1000 version with those awkward blue spots, but this one is, like I said, the smallest of the figures. Now, the weird thing about it is, this being the smallest figure, and it is significantly smaller than the Giganotosaurus, it is unfortunately about the same price that you would pay for the Giganotosaurus, because they decided to go with that resin material for the figure and make it a limited edition of 500. And yeah, it's just, I think it's a little too pricey. I think they should have went with the PVC, so then it wouldn't be quite so expensive for people, but unfortunately they chose to do it this way. Now, this guy I was lucky enough to get from Shane Folks for way cheaper than that $100 price tag that they were asking for. I paid only $65 for it, and I don't regret it. Although he is, like I said, he's got some ugly issues to him, I do still love Majungasaurus, and I think that the base overall is beautiful. The majority of the dinosaur is really nice, but that face is just a little iffy to me. It just is lacking in detail, and the sculpt work looks a little strange. The eyes look pretty bad, and the inside of the mouth is absolutely awful, but the arms also being out in like a flying position is a little strange. But if you can get past all of those issues, I think that it's a pretty nice Majungasaurus figure. It definitely isn't that bad, and of course that weird thing on the base is a little iffy too. I don't know what that even is still supposed to be. But regardless, their new figures that they have coming out that I've seen look pretty promising. They look actually really quite nice, so I may end up picking them up. They're also way cheaper than this Majungasaurus. The last I had seen, even Monsterhouse HK, the overpriced website, is selling them for about $30, somewhere in that range, which is similar to a Rebor price. You aren't going to get Rebor quality with them, but they're still significantly cheaper. So with a little bit of patience, once a few other online sellers get them and stop selling them for the inflated Monsterhouse HK prices, you should be able to pick them up at a pretty cheap price, and they could be pretty nice. So I'll probably get 1 or 2 of those, maybe all of them, I don't know, because they do look really quite nice in the promotional pictures. But I'll probably end up picking them up at some point and then putting them on the channel to review for you guys. This guy is really up to you. It's your call if you want to purchase this guy. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.